Gentlemen, welcome to the Much to Do About Something podcast. Today I'm joined by three of my friends.
Sog.
Ryan.
Colton.
So, the Much to Do About Something podcast is basically a random wheel of discussions. And today, our first ever episode, we landed on ranking our favorite movies. So, at first we were going to do our top 10, but that was way too many to come up with on the spot. Most of the time, we're going to give ourselves like a day in advance to think about things. But today, we got all our podcast equipment. We're like, let's do it. Recording binge. We're going crazy. So right here, right now, we're doing our top 5 favorites.
All right. That was actually a really good opening. That was actually really fun.
Yeah.
All right. So the basic idea I had for it was we're all going to go around the table and we're going to start with our number 5 and we're going to go up until we get to our number 1. And does anyone want to start? Because if no one does, I can.
I'm going to have the longest one, so I'll go first. The reason why I'm going to have the longest one is because I have a 3-way tie for my number 5.
That is insane.
I could not start. I could not choose just one for my number 5. So the first one that I chose for my number 1 spot, or number 5 spot, is the first Spider-Verse movie. It was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy that it's in his
That's
top
on my
5. It is?
It's such a good movie.
No.
I could rap about that, those two movies.
Oh, I will be.
For so long, because just everything. I relate to Miles so much in so many different ways, and it was so emotional when Uncle Aaron died. And the Prowler got one of the coolest themes, too. The second one I have in my number 5 slot is the first Karate Kid movie.
Oh, wow.
Way back.
The first
That's
one.
crazy.
All of them are really good. The first one I like the most. And for all you Miyagi-Dos out there, I don't like you.
Oh, bro.
Daniel is the villain, bro.
For Cobra Kai,
Johnny's sitting there. Do you expect him not to do something when you're, messing around with this girl, bro?
Bro is so...
Dude,
that's crazy.
And, dude, I love everything about the movie. I don't know. I just thought it was a really good movie all around. And then for my third pick for my number 5 spot is all of the God's Not Dead movies.
Wow.
Those
what?
It's different.
Whoa, wait. Even the second one.
Okay, is that the one where the teacher? The
teacher
that
one.
was horrible.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
I watched that in theaters and I really liked it.
Well, it's not me. It's not a cool
For
movie.
where I was at, I need to hear that I was questioning a lot of things at that point in my life.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it was I had never really thought about Jesus' life as a historical figure before because he is confirmed by atheist historians.
Yeah.
He himself is a historical figure, and I never thought about that until I watched.
Now that's another thing. What I loved about the first God's Not Dead movie is that I learned stuff from that movie, just from watching that movie. A lot of the stuff that I was questioning and stuff. The character, was his name Josh or Elijah? What was it?
Josh, I think.
Josh. A lot of those questions that I was thinking about, Josh answered in that movie. And I don't know. I really like the movie all around. And was it the third one that Jude dies?
Yeah.
That one, that was sad, dude. I almost shed a tear for a girl.
So I will say this much. The first one is always going to be my favorite because it was
definitely
the nostalgic. Going to the theaters and watching that movie made me so encouraged.
Yeah.
The second one, personally, out of the 3, it is the weakest.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say on that end is that what they had was really, really good. For me, it was the technicality. The actors kind of annoyed me. That's my reason for saying it's not. The purpose of it, discussing about how Jesus is a historical figure and how people at school can get in trouble for discussing about it, which I always find ridiculous. Those kind of things are really important. And that was really nice to see. And the third one, just seeing how low a pastor can go.
Yeah. And
that was a different level.
I think it's a realistic thing too.
Yeah, no one discusses.
It really shows what goes on outside of the church too.
It's really sad because a lot of people just assume things about their pastors, and it's you forget sometimes that they're real people that have their own lives and their own struggles. I mean, that's obvious because there's so many scandals that people
right,
throw
but
out there.
In your mind, that's your pastor. You have him on that pedestal.
Exactly,
yeah.
And so it's just something that you never really think about that much.
Another thing, if you're looking to get closer to God or learn more about Him, I post daily Jesus content on my TikTok.
Oh, that's crazy. What a segue.
Colton Cummins _10. And if you have something that you want to like talk about or something about God privately, my Instagram is ColtonCummins7, and just shoot me a DM. I will answer. I'm not like those other people who just do not answer. So yeah, just hit me up if you need someone.
Bro, throughout
Hey, I'm just trying to help people out.
That's crazy. That's crazy. If we're gonna do that, that's gonna every person we run.
All right, I assume we just go.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I've
I've never actually seen any of those movies.
We're watching them straight up.
Dude,
I would be down to watch them.
I remember being in the theaters for the first time watching the first one.
It was crazy.
And like I think it was like a 10 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And like the dad beats that girl.
Yeah.
Because she listens to like
my mom cried at that part.
Dude, I was scared.
Really?
I was so scared. And like that's in a movie. It's so much worse other places than in the movie.
Not gonna lie though, like the song "God's Not Dead" too. Like song still hits to this day.
Dude,
I had that song. It was my number 5 most played song.
That's so
Dude,
fire.
at Echo Range, at Christian camp, at church camp, we
You can name drop it.
No, probably not, because then they can pinpoint our location and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. We can edit it out. We can edit it out. At camp, when we're all doing the dishes, when that song comes on, everyone doing the dishes belts that.
Oh yeah.
So hard.
Oh yeah.
It's a banger.
It really boosts you like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
All right.
That's very good.
Ryan.
All right. For my number 5, I actually went with surprisingly a movie that was released this year.
Oh wow.
Well, last year, I guess. Oppenheimer.
Nice.
Oh
nice.
my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, I am a huge history buff, and I'm
Nice.
really interested in specifically World War II, but both of the World Wars, because I like looking back at history and looking at the politics of everything. I won't go into any of that stuff because it's
yeah,
great.
dangerous world now.
Because we want fans.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want people to hate us.
But yeah, the way that the director Christopher Nolan, the way he handled the movie was just really incredibly well done, and something that I really think only he could have done something with the way that he edits and styles his movie. So I really liked the realism about it, and the effects were nothing was done on a computer. It was all physical, actual effects. But just the way that he told the story, I thought was really clever. But it was like basically you were watching 3 different movies at the same time. One was a historical piece. One was like basically felt like a heist when they were making the bomb. And then the latter part was a courtroom drama. And I think that he pulled those 3 all together really well. And the fact that the movie was jumping back and forth in between each section, so it wasn't just one contiguous story, but kind of the climactic end. Like right at the end of the movie, it brought the end to all 3 different sections at the same time. So it was like a really grandiose ending to a movie because it brought all 3 of the storylines to a close at the same time at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was just a really well done movie. I forget his name who played Oppenheimer, but
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I think no, they say it like Killian. I
Killian?
think. Yeah, but it's spelled like Cillian.
He acted his butt off, man.
He's really good. I really like him
I
as
think
an actor. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen any of his other movies, but I think I can just tell that has to be like the performance of his life.
I want to watch. He has a show called Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
I want to watch
really
that.
wanna
I want to watch that.
He is a phenomenal actor.
What I want to say about that is I've never seen it, but just the name Christopher Nolan being like the guy that directed, I was like, this movie's gonna be crazy good.
Mhm.
That's just the way that Christopher Nolan is. But
Yeah, it's a slapper.
I want to watch it at some point. I'm kind of sad I didn't get to go watch it, but
I have it on disc. I've been trying to find a time for a nerd herd movie watch night.
oh my goodness, that would go so far. We're doing that at some point. Anyways, I guess if you have nothing else to say about that, I can do my number 5, which is very obvious for anyone who knows who I am. my number 5 has to be a Marvel movie, and my number 5 is my personal favorite Marvel movie, Captain America: Civil War. And that's like, it's a me thing. I understand. Like, why not Endgame? Why not Infinity? Because for me, those are just so, basic.
Yeah.
Everyone really has to be
good.
I knew it was going to be good. And it's like, for me, a movie has to be about a specific, like, it has to follow the narrative of like one specific person. And Infinity War and Endgame had like a very big cast, a very big thing going on. And Captain America was like a smaller version of that.
I almost threw Captain America: Winter Soldier in my number 5.
Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. But for me, Captain America, Civil War was my favorite comic book reading. Like growing up, reading that comic, it was I read it so many times. And me being the guy that was like, because I like to argue all the time, I was always as a kid being like, I'm on Iron Man's side. And so like watching Captain America: Civil War and being like, man, I can see both perspectives in a different way because they make it a little bit different, but still be like, I'm on Captain America's side because this team is so much cooler. I don't know. I just really enjoy the movie. I love the controversy. I remember like scrolling online when that came out and seeing how many people were like pro Captain America because everyone was, I'm on Captain America's side. And then there'd just be me and like 2 people being like, nah.
No, yeah.
I'm on Iron Man's team. I've always been an Iron Man guy compared to Captain
I
America.
honestly forgot. What were they beefing about?
It was the
Sokovia
Sokovia Accords, basically being like the government gets to basically babysit the Avengers. I think that's
because they destroy it.
Yeah,
because they literally like kill.
It's like those memes where
hundreds
it's
of
like
people.
average Avengers like saving the day moment, and it's like the city of Detroit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But yeah, that's my number 5. I've always, being a nerd, it had to be on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot take ? Is Captain America the strongest Marvel trilogy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man 2 was bad.
Yeah.
Thor 2 was bad.
I think that the Iron Mans are just outdated at this point.
Mhm.
Like,
Literally.
Yeah,
that's their
they're really
biggest
old.
problem.
Iron Man 3 is still like, in my opinion,
Iron
like,
Man
super
3 is a
good.
good
But like,
one,
yeah,
I think that
Is that the one with
rest
the
of them-
Mandarin?
yeah,
That was a great movie.
that was a good one.
great movie.
So okay, so we all agree Captain America is probably this.
Yeah.
The first Avenger is such a weak movie, but the next 2 make up for it big time.
Yeah, well, and Spider-Man has 3 now, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man has 3.
That's where like people.
I don't know.
Spider-Man
really
or
like
Captain
Tom
America?
Holland.
Wait, well, it depends.
Spider-Man.
What movies are returning the Spider-Man?
No Way
It's
Home,
like-
Homecoming, and Far From Home.
Yeah, the
I
newest
could go.
ones.
I could go with Captain America.
I still
Captain
Captain
see.
America.
Personally, I'm stuck on Tobey Maguire. Like, Tom Holland does an amazing job. Like, Zendaya does a great job. I love. What's the guy's name? Is it Ned? Yeah, Ned.
Oh, Ned is
I
funny.
freaking love
I
Ned.
love Ned,
Dude.
But personally, like, because of my nostalgia bias, it's always going to be the originals for me.
Yeah.
Hot take or not, I don't think they've made a bad Spider-Man actor yet.
Oh no,
No, all 3 are.
Everyone does their
People
job.
argue about like which 3 they like.
But
I mean, me
I
personally,
think they're
I'm an
all-
Andrew Garfield fan. Which like
Yeah,
people
kinda
people are like, bro,
That's
what?
I don't
rarest-
care.
that's
I don't
the
have a
rarest
favorite. I
form.
love them all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, going back, in my opinion, and maybe it's because I'm a Captain America stan because I love him as a character and his ideals. I think Captain America is the strongest trilogy, and I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people are, Spider-Man, and that's fine too. It's a close contender, very close.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. I'm always gonna say Captain America because you can watch the first movie, you can watch the second movie, you can watch the third movie, and it's all 3 times. Like every time you rewatch them, you're like, man, this movie's so good. With the other ones, like when I rewatched Iron Man 2, I was like, dude, this movie's
That
bad.
movie sucks.
And we all know about Thor 2.
Everything about that movie just sucks.
Dark World.
Dark World will forever be
Oh,
yeah.
I've literally never watched it.
dude,
Good,
no,
don't.
that's
it's almost as bad as Morbius.
You know what's crazy?
It is horrible.
You know what's crazy?
That's a horrible
You know what's
take.
crazy?
It's terrible.
You know what's crazy? The fact that Thor 4, in my opinion, is worse than Dark World.
Love and
I
Thunder.
think so.
It was.
I hated it.
The
part
was as bad as Dark.
the part with the freaking kids just suddenly getting powers made no sense to me. I was like, why are you filming this?
The
Like,
writing was
the
pretty
freaking
awful.
chick. There's a little girl with a teddy bear that's shooting lightning out of his eyes. I was like, they literally just were like, we have a group of actual orphans. Let's make them like lovable and make everyone
Everything
like
about
love
that
them.
movie just sucked.
Yeah.
The stupid.
And they also did
Thor hammer
they did Christian
love
Bale
movies.
so dirty. I'll never
Stupid.
forgive them for that. Anyway.
I think for that movie, their greatest sin was they tried to with Ragnarok, they absolutely had lightning in a bottle with that movie, in my opinion. I think they tried to reach into that bottle and take some of that lightning again. And that's why Love and Thunder failed so miserably.
Real.
Oh, dude. However, when Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians,
Oh crap! I forgot about them too.
Guardians might be the strongest trilogy. Every Guardians movie is strong.
Yeah.
I don't know about the second one, but the first one.
I think the second one had the best soundtrack, though.
Yeah, that one's actually.
Are there three? There's three.
Right?
Yeah.
And the third one was one of the greatest Marvel films I've ever seen.
Cinema and like
I think I've watched it.
No, you can ask Cordell in theaters when Rocket did that scream. I was like petrified.
Oh wait, is that when?
I've never wanted to. Never mind. I might have said that. I've never wanted to punch a villain in the face more than that villain in that movie.
That's when Groot was like a teenager, right?
The second one he was a baby. The third one he's like a young adult, because he's teenager he's teenager in Infinity War and Endgame.
Okay.
All right, is that like?
I think. Now I'm like, I would say it goes. In my opinion, Captain America is still gonna be my favorite because some of my favorite Marvel movies are all Captain America movies. 100%. Then Guardians of the Galaxy, then Spider-Man. That's what I would say.
Yeah, Cordell and I don't agree on a lot of things, but for some reason we have the same.
Yeah, the same favorite Marvel film. Yeah. Anyway, and we also kind of just never argue about Marvel opinions ever about MCU
because Paul doesn't.
Yeah, he's not like that.
I'm more of a movie watcher than a Marvel watcher.
Fair.
Yeah. One last thing that I would bring up though about the your favorite one being Civil War, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is in Endgame. I think one of the hardest lines comes right at the beginning of the whole movie when Iron Man comes back and Cap goes out to meet him, and actually I think it's once Iron Man recovers from his bed, he's like talking to Captain America, and the line is just like, where were you? We went to the planet to kill him and you weren't there. You told us when you didn't sign the Accords that you would be there, and then Thanos came and you weren't there.
Yeah,
because they said that we'll
and
lose
then
together.
He passes out.
Dude,
we'll lose together.
Watching that movie, like that part specifically, that one did. I felt that part. I was like, man, that's crazy. But anyways, that's my number 5. That's my number 5.
All right. So obviously, the thing about movies is you're supposed to feel strongly every time you watch a movie, and this one is a very recent watch in my collection. But give me Ridley Scott, give me Russell Crowe, give me Joaquin Phoenix, give me Gladiator.
Oh wow,
Gladiator!
Wow,
is a really good movie. That is probably my top 10. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I love that it's like an ancient Rome movie because there's not too many of those. I know that there are some, but like, I don't know. Following Maximus, seeing what happens to him, and then how in the end he saves Rome. Joaquin Phoenix's villain.
Oh my, dude! I wanted to punch him so bad, bro.
Dude, Joaquin Phoenix. Let me pull up his name. I forgot what his name was.
It was Maximus, wasn't it?
No, Maximus
Quintus.
Cornelius, maybe something like that. I don't know, but Joaquin Phoenix's villain was one of the most hated villains I've seen in a while, and that's because I just watched it recently. Every time I was on screen, I was like, this slimy dirtbag. He hugged his dad to death. He went up to his sister and he was like, you will give me a child of pure blood. And the way he like messes with his nephew to like manipulate out like, hey, who told you Maximus is the savior of Rome? Such a fantastic movie. I think that the acts are perfectly separated.
Oh yeah.
I think that each act is solid on its own, and they could do a whole movie with each of the acts. Like him at the start, being a Roman general, that 100% could be its own movie. In the middle, going through the gladiator stuff.
Oh my goodness.
100%. Yeah. You could do a huge movie where he's just like going around touring with the gladiator ring, and then the Act 3 is just I don't know. It's just a great way to.
You can go off on a thing of like what happened afterwards.
Because,
like does that one nephew? Does the nephew actually go like I need to follow his example? Does he do something crazy? Or?
Yeah, man. Like I'm very glad that Commodus will not be seeing the light of day ever again.
Commodus, that was his name. Commodus.
I think that Gladiator is the best movie that I watched last year, and it's in my top 5.
Yeah, I almost forgot that it's 2024. But yeah.
I definitely need to watch that movie.
It's so good.
Chef's Kiss.
It's so good.
I love
Was that the movie that I missed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did miss that. Carson watched it though, and Carson said it was
if
good.
Carson loved it,
Carson said it was
he's
good.
the pickiest movie watcher ever.
Bro, he can't. He just doesn't like sitting down and watching a movie.
That's fair.
So, anyways,
we're going down back to number 4.
Yep, we're on number 4.
Okay, this one, you guys, I know for a fact none of you guys have watched this movie, but this one really got me. It was like more of an emotional movie because I watched this at 3:00 in the morning by myself. Like, I don't know. It was one of those nights where like you can't fall asleep. You're like, well, what do I do? So I turned on this movie because my sisters like always wanted to watch this with me for like since I was like I don't know like 10. And this movie's called Heaven is for Real.
Oh yeah, I've watched that movie.
It's about this little kid named Colton who I forgot what he had. It was something.
His appendix. He had appendicitis or his appendix. I think his appendix.
And during surgery? During surgery, he technically died.
Yeah.
Medically.
And yeah, he technically died. And he gets a vision of heaven. I kind of forgot what else happened, but like while he's basically dead, like his mom's on the phone, like crying on the phone with her friends. His dad's in a church yelling at God and stuff like that. And eventually he regains consciousness. And his dad was talking to him. And then he brought up something about like seeing heaven. And his dad just like kind of chuckled it off. Like, you know, he didn't really believe him. Because I mean, it's crazy. And then he says, the kid Colton, he brings up, he's like, why are you mad at God? And then the dad stops for a bit and he's like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, why were you yelling at him